Now, the second element of fiscal policy is taxation. Very important element. You should know everything about it, starting from the reasons for taxation. Why do you want to tax? Number one, obviously government has to make so much expenditure. So for that reason, government needs to raise revenues. Okay? The government has to raise revenues. Sometimes government imposes taxes to discourage certain activities. For example, it could be like, taxes on cigarettes, yeah, cars, to avoid pollution and stuff, right? So activities can that I'm actually focusing on something that can damage health and cause pollution, right? So to discourage those. Sometimes taxes can be to discourage imported goods. अच्छा, imported goods पे जो ड्यूटीज लगती हैं, कस्टम वगैरह, वो भी टैक्सेशन में आती हैं. दे कॉल इट टैरिफ्स वैसे तो. And there's a reason to discourage these because they reduce domestic goods consumption. So one of the reasons could be that. And number 4, why are we taxing? We say, you know what, to redistribute income, to redistribute incomes from the rich to the poor. Okay, तो ये तो हो गया हमारे taxation and the reasons for taxation. Now remember, taxation is just one part of the revenue that the government can earn from. There are more sources of revenue for the government. Okay, I'll just list them down on the side over here. One, you have, I already suggested, taxes. These taxes can be on imported goods, on incomes, on domestically produced goods, like sales tax and stuff. We'll talk a lot more about that in a bit. Then, sometimes government can cause privatization of some state-owned assets. For example, Pakistan Railway, Pakistan Steel Mill, they can sell it and they can make money off that. Okay. Other ways could be rent on government buildings or something. They can make some money off that. फिर उसके अलावा it could be profits on nationalized industries. Nationalized industries are the ones which are owned by the state. They can get money from there as well. उसके अलावा they can even make like if government owns shares in private enterprises, so they can make like dividend incomes. So these would be some of the places where the government can actually make money from and where they can spend. And remember, the biggest figure over here is taxation. गवर्नमेंट मेक्स द मोस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ मनी फ्रॉम टैक्सेशन, इसीलिए टैक्सेशन का जो वैल्यू होता है दैट इज द मेजर वन विच इम्पैक्ट. So far so good. Copied. Dividend incomes from shares owned in private firms. Done? Done? Okay. I can't hear you because I don't have my headpiece. There's something wrong with the Bluetooth. All right. Okay, okay, okay. So, next thing. अब एक तरफ हमने बता दिया हाँ जी गवर्नमेंट what does it do with the sources of the revenue and the reasons for taxations. Now we'll talk about the types of taxations, the classifications of taxations. Now this I personally feel is very, very important. Now from the classification point of view, the first difference that you should be able to do is between two types of taxes. Number one is you should know what are direct taxes. We've dealt with this when we were doing microeconomics, that किस तरह से direct taxes जो कि basically income tax होता है, so we can say like these are tax on incomes. Okay, tax on incomes, wealth. Okay, examples are simple: income tax, wealth tax, inheritance tax. Okay, and what it does is that it reduces consumers' disposable income available to spend on goods and services okay, it reduces their purchasing power. So as a result, basically what this does is that it reduces the demand for goods and services. It shifts the demand curve. All right, so the key thing is it has an impact on the demand. That's your direct taxation. If they talk about income tax or direct tax has been imposed, you're going to shift the demand curve to the right or to the left depending on whether they have implemented the tax or reduced the tax. The second type of taxation is indirect tax. Indirect taxes are basically tax imposed on goods and services. एनी टाइम यू गेट कंफ्यूज कि ये डायरेक्ट है कि इनडायरेक्ट है, आस्क योर सेल्फ ये किसी गुड पे लगा है या इनकम पे लगा है, एंड दैट इज योर आंसर। इफ इट इज ऑन अ गुड, whether it's property, whether it is something imported good that you're getting from abroad. So examples जो basic वाले हैं, it's general sales tax or just simply sales tax you can write, value addition tax, custom duties, ठीक है, these are all imposed on goods and services, and what it does is that it reduces, oh sorry, not reduce, it increases the cost of production it increases the cost of production for producers and decreases the supply for goods and services. बट इसके अंदर जब गवर्नमेंट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स गुड्स पे लगाती है, तो यहाँ पर वी हैव टू टॉक अबाउट दैट हु पेज दिस टैक्स। तो sometimes what the producer does is that it pushes the tax on the consumers. So the tax burden, I will write the tax burden depends on the elasticity of demand and supply for the good.